got the Roman, the modern day Roman Empire, pretty much imploding on itself, financially, morally, damn sure politically, man. You know, all these things are happening at once, man. This how we know we at the end, the end of the end, man. You got a precept, bro?
Yeah.
You go, bro.
This is Isaiah 47, verse 1. It says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon."
See that Babylon is about to come and sit in the dust, man. It's sitting in the dust right now, spiritually through confusion, because that's what dust represents. But also the dust represents what a lower state, which Babylon the Great is going to witness in these upcoming days. All right, when it's taken down by these superpowers such as Russia, China, and Iran, man, and ultimately the second coming of the Lord, man. All right, Babylon will and shortly to come will sit in the dust, man. All right, keep reading.
Yeah.
"There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate."
Yeah, and the Chaldeans, when you look up the Chaldeans, they was proficient in witchcraft, man. All right, you know they was really prominent in witchcraft. That's what got their kingdom moving. The witchcraft of America that that they do through the television, the different sorceries that they actually do, the seances that they do to keep this
right
kingdom
here. Check
going.
mark right there.
It's
Let me
not
see something
working
right
no
quick.
more, man. All right. Because the
Yeah,
power
that
that
was
they've been
where I was
worshiping
at.
this whole time wasn't the God of the Bible. It was
So
Satan,
you know
man.
what I'm gonna do.
All right, and the Lord is no longer
It's in
allowing
the live
Satan
setting, so you
to
gotta go in
give
advanced
Esau,
settings.
Edom no more power, man. This is the end of his kingdom, man. All right.
This is Sarat chapter 18 and verse 1. It says, "He that liveth forever created all things in general. The Lord Yahweh GmsKnightsofyahawashi only is righteous, and there is none other but He, who governeth the world with the palm of His hand, and all things obey His will, and He is the King of all."
Yeah, he said all things obey his will, man. Whether and the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. He ruleth over all things, whether it be physical or spiritual, man. All right, people gotta realize that the Lord controls Satan. All right, I know it's a hard concept to believe because in this damn Christian church they tell you that God is against Satan. But what religion or what philosophy does that also sound like? That they probably got that shit from the Greek mythology, man. You know. So in real terms, in reality, the Lord has complete control over Satan, man. That's right. All right, and for a short time period, the Lord allows Satan to give Esau power, but now that power is being revoked, man, and it's being revoked drastically. I mean, sharply, man. You know, here it is. People don't even respect the USA no more, man. I remember years ago, USA, you know, they was talking to USA being the best at everything, the Olympics. A lot of US is losing a lot of shit in the Olympics, man. People don't want to join their military no more. I mean, this shit it's a circus, man. You know. And then what you got going politically, you know, it's literally a circus, man. I ain't never seen nothing like this in my 29 years of living. You know, I remember the political parties. The presidential elections were taken serious. You ain't have no sexy red and what's it called? Megan Stallion at performing for the nominee, presidential nominee. Yeah. You know, but this is going into the Roman implosion, man. All right, what's it called? An explosion within itself. All right, that's what a Babylon the Great is witnessing right now, man. All right, you got upcoming civil wars happening. All right, the tension between civil wars, the markets is collapsing on itself. Bubbles, financial bubbles are about to burst, man. All right, we at the end, man. Go ahead, bro.
It says, "All things obey His will, for He is the King of all. By His power, dividing holy things among them from profane." That was all that.
No, you jump back to what you had, bro.
If you don't mind.
Yeah, you got it, bro.
This is verse 8. It says, "Therefore hear now this, that thou that art given the pleasures that dwellest carelessly, that saith in thy heart, I am and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. Verse 9, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood.
Yeah, and what it means is that when it says, it's talking about the mentality of the Edomites that's ruling Babylon the Great. It said what? I sit as a widow, and read that part again.
Verse 8. It says, I am and none else beside me.
Yeah, I am and none else beside me, meaning what? That the mentality of this place is that it can't be judged by the Lord. All right? For so long, I mean, look at the atrocities that this place committed over, its tenure of ruling. It had the Lord's chosen people in slavery. All right? The sins of this place reached up into the heavens. I mean, and it's still no major judgment happened.
Hammer of the whole earth.
Yeah, it's been the hammer of the whole earth, committing war crimes throughout the whole earth. Hasn't been judged. So this is why it has this mentality. I sit as a widow, and there's none else beside me. It believes that it can't truly be judged. But this is why the scripture says in the next verse, what? These two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, man. And then when you jump to Revelation, within that day, it tells you the time frame is going to happen. 1 hour, man. 1 hour, man. So read that again.
This is Isaiah 47, verse 8. It says, therefore, hear now this, thou that art given the pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thine heart, I am and none else beside me.
Right.
I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. Verse 9, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments.
See that, for the great abundance of thine enchantments, man. And that's how this place has been functioning for so long, man. The enchantments. They people. Hey, when is people gonna realize that this place is heavily wicked, man? All right, it's heavily wicked. It's a fluster of demons roaming around this place. All right, it's bad, man.
And also, right quick, also, because when you go into the enchantment and the sorcery and witchcraft, understand there's a lot of acts of witchcraft that you may not necessarily be aware of. Like example, like feminism is witchcraft, right? Like when people, example, they call it the word right now is like gaslighting, right? When you being gaslit, that's witchcraft, because you like, hold up, if the sky is blue, right, or powder blue, and then somebody's telling you, nah, man, after doing research, statistics, fact checkers and all that, well, now we realize that the sky is actually reddish. I'm like, well, that can't be the case. Well, that's witchcraft. All right, there's a lot of Jedi mind tricks going on in the United States, and the primary target are the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All right? We're the primary targets of what? Of Jedi mind tricks, witchcraft, sorcery. All right? Now, recently, I think last month, you had on the Bohemian Grove, right? Because you had those Edomites constantly going to the Bohemian Grove in July. And what do in the Bohemian Grove? Hey, they pray to the Owl of Moloch. Baal, right? Same thing. So they pray to the Owl of Moloch or Baal, and they put curses on so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. There's a reason why our people act the way that they act. All right? The foolishness that's going on in America has to do with the witchcraft. All right? So read that.
This is Isaiah 47, verse 9. It says, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood.
Wait, now, in one day, the loss of children. Now, we're going to witness the loss of children soon, but that one day, ultimately, is talking about thermonuclear missiles. All right? Because we know when the nukes hit Babylon the Great, when the nukes hit this place, everybody that's found in America is going to be put to death. All right? This is something that we have visions about it. It's in the scriptures. All right? And we firmly believe that this is going to happen. And now more than ever. All right? Why? Because all these nations are getting ready and getting geared up for the Third World War. All right? Let me get that Joel. As a matter of fact, somebody let me get 2nd Ezra 9. And then hold Joel in the back. But I want to read 2nd Ezra 9, start at 1. Yeah.
It's the book of 2nd Esdras. It's the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 9, verse 1. And it says, and he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before,
Right.
then thou shalt understand that is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
So when you diligently watch and you pray and you watch the prophecies and you measure the times, what happens, you realize that, hey, the things that are happening are according to the scriptures, all right? The things that are happening are according to the scriptures. So if they're according to the scriptures, that means what? That means the Lord is coming back, all right? And what does that mean, the Lord is coming back? Well, Yahawashi is coming back to destroy this society, all right? To replace the society with a righteous society, where we're going to have righteousness, we're going to be perfect, all right? And then we're going to do away with all this wickedness, man. All these Jedi mind tricks, man. Because this society really is wearing, like, it'll wear you out, man. Because it's a constant battle. Every day you step outside, every day you turn on the TV or you turn on YouTube, right? Whatever you watch, it's all abominations, man. All right? It's abominations and temptations. And you constantly have to fight this day in and day out. And what it does, it kind of wears on you eventually. So the Lord sees the pain of his saints. So what he's going to do now, he's going to start to bring down the nations. All right? Because he said that in Zephaniah, that he's going to bring down the nations. So we have to just continue to be patient.
And it says, verse 3, and it says, Therefore when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world.
Earthquakes and uproars of the people. We starting to get uproars of the people. Keep on.
And it says, verse 4, and it says, and then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee.
Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of nations right now. They are in the brink of total collapse. All right, you have, talking about civil war, you got a civil war coming to America. Then you got a civil war going on in the Middle East. All right, there's a place called Bangladesh. They're killing each other over there. You got a civil war going on in Venezuela. A lot of these people, a lot of these nations are actually going through what? They're going through changes. All right, they're going through changes, and their changes, a lot of the issues is what? It's political. Why? Because everything right now is political. Now, whether you care about politics or not, you don't have a choice but to be aware of politics. Why? Because politicians pass laws. All right, they pass laws that affect you. When you look at your check, when you look at the inflation, because now they just acknowledge that we're in a full-blown recession. Well, we've been in a full-blown recession. If you just wait, if you're constantly waiting for the government to tell you what's going on, you always gonna be behind, man. All right, you always gonna be behind. We've been in a damn recession, all right, for a long time, like going on almost 4 years. All right, because when Trump was in office, what he was able to do was able to dump money in the market, so it was able to hide, the inflationary numbers. But Trump didn't do anything in particular. They were just dumping money to make you people fall asleep financially. But then when Biden came in, they removed the mask and they're like, nah, we're gonna pull the plug on this society. And now that the plug is being pulled, everybody has to worry about politics. And it's not only here in the United States. All these nations are being affected financially. All right? The cost of living is going up around the world. It's not just in the United States. All right? It's just that the people here feel the brunt of it. Why? Because of a lifestyle. The American lifestyle is different than the lifestyle that anybody else lives in the world. Because see, in the world, the rest of the world, they do something that's called minimalizing. All right? They know how to minimalize. But the United States, people are not used to minimalizing. This is the place that had the golden cup. all right? Where riches, where people throw away food.
Yeah.
This is a place where you got people that live off of like other people's scraps. Like they go behind, but what's the name of these? They're not hoarders. They're
Dumpster divers?
dumpster divers. While you got dumpster divers, they got mad food in the refrigerator. And they're like, damn, look at all this food I got this week. They don't even have to buy for groceries, pay for groceries, right? This is the type of land that we're talking about. Now that that standard and that lifestyle is being taken down, people are very uncomfortable. Because they still want to, because you got to understand, the rent is high, everything is high, but people, the thing that's killing people is that they want to keep the same similar lifestyle that they've always had whilst paying these high-ass rent. They don't want to cut back on things. They're being forced to cut back, all right? And the scripture speaks about that. And also, I think it's, what, 2nd Ezra?
Yeah.
2nd Ezra, either 15 or 16.
Man,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, because the Ra'ash, you know, is absolutely right, because you remember, you even go back like 10 years ago, people used to, companies used to build up houses like crazy. They still do, but what do you see getting built up even more? Apartment complexes, man. Because it's forcing the people to downsize, man.
This one being built right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, people right, because remember, part of the Great Reset is getting people out of home ownership into like renting. You know what I'm saying? So the prices are going up, everything is going up. The only thing you're gonna be able to do is really rent. You're gonna have a whole bunch of roommates, man. Hey, dog, you ready for the Civil War? He said that. I mean, there ain't really no way to get ready for that, right?
We ain't ready for no Civil War, brothers.
Hey, man, it's coming, man. It's coming, according to the Bible. Man, he said, hell no. I mean, but to be honest, how do you even get ready for something like that? The only way is spiritual. You have to have faith, because we standing here, we haven't witnessed what a Civil War is. All we know, we've seen movies, right? And we know the history. But this Civil War is going to be different. It's not going to be like the first Civil War when you had the North and the South meeting up somewhere and killing each other. Nah, this is going to be a Civil War where the whole society is going to be in just in a total war. It's going to be neighborhoods like banging on neighborhoods, basically. Why? Because you're going to have neighborhoods that are full Republicans, full red. And then they're going to bang on neighborhoods that are full blue. And then who are the majority of, who are the minorities that's usually appointed or linked to the blue states? It's your so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? You damn Democrats. And then, because you get caught up in this politics when you vote for Democrats, and now a lot of you dumbass niggas, now you want to move red and want to vote for Trump. There is no answers here, man. All right, this place is going to be destroyed, man.
This is Matthew 24 and verse 6. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and of rumors of wars, seeing that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass.
Yeah, all these things must come to pass. Keep going.
But the end is not yet.
Right, but the end is not yet. All right, so why? Because it's the beginning of sorrows. When all hell starts to break loose, it doesn't mean that Yahawashi is going to show up immediately. Why? Because certain things have to take place, right? You have the microchip, all right? The mark of the beast has to be established. A lot of people have to be judged. People have to be thrown in concentration camps and tempted with the microchip, with the mark of the beast. People have to experience death by famine. Some people have to experience death by what? Creatures, animals. All these different things have to take place, all right? And if all hell was to break loose now, and then the Lord shows up a month after, then you wouldn't have all these prophecies take place, all right? The third world war has to take place. Go ahead.
It says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places.
That's right, famine, pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. We've been prophesying about this for decades, man. But we are so glad and so joyful that it's finally happening. You know what I'm saying? It's finally, we can sense that we are finally in that season where all these prophecies are going to come to pass, all right, at a rapid rate. Go ahead.
It says, all these things are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you. And ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake.
That's right, and you're going to be hated, so they're going to deliver. Some of us going to have to face the music, right? But we understand that the majority of the elect are going to be delivered in the sense that they're going to be delivered alive. All right, and we're hoping to be a part of that number. But either way it go, as long as you're a part of the elect, it don't really matter, you know, how that process takes place. You know, if you have to be put to death, it is what it is. It's going to be a glorious way out, right? But as far as like dying the dog's death, that's not going to happen to the elect, all right? That's going to happen to 2/3 of you wicked Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Y'all are the ones that's going to be dying these crazy-ass deaths out here, man. And the men of the Lord is not going to get caught up in some false flag operation from the government. Nah, it's going to be a regular nigga speaking wetback. All right?
This is Acts 14, and I'm going to start at verse 22. It says, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith,
Right.
and that we must, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of the Most High.
That's right, but much tribulation, man. Trials and tribulation meaning it's non-stop. Right? This thing is daily, this thing is year in and year out. All right? It's a lifetime. This is, you know what they call, they have trophies where they call lifetime achievements. All right? This is a lifetime achievement. So you can't be short-sighted when it comes to this truth. You got to be of the mind that, hey, as close as we are, you got to be of the mindset that, hey, as close as we are, even if this thing had to take the whole life, right? Like you have to fucking do it. Because if not, when do you get to the point where you're like, you know what, I'm done being righteous. Now I'm just going to be cool with being wicked. Nah. Because you're either going to be righteous till you die, right, through faith, or you're going to be wicked. So to us, it's a lifetime achievement. All right, and we just happy that the Lord has shown signs that he doesn't plan on having us here for another fucking 10, 15, or 20 years. He's showing the signs that he's about as, you know, fed up about this place as we are. Because, you know, if it was up to us, man, we would have been out of here yesterday. You know what I'm saying? We would have been out of here yesterday. If the Heavenly Father, that's why, the Lord hasn't given us spiritual powers yet, because if he had given us spiritual powers, man, brother would have been doing some wild stuff, bro. We would have, we would have pushed the envelope, man. That's right. Cause you talking about I can fly? Like, man, let me fly out of Babylon, man. I'm flying out of Babylon, and I just fly back in every Saturday, man. The Lord ain't gonna let that happen, because then you're not gonna face the trials and tribulations, right? You're gonna go out and not deal with these niggas. The Lord wants you to see these niggas, man. The Lord wants you to feel this pain of being stranded here, man. Now, somebody would say, well, you can get a passport. But the thing is, you get a passport. I was just online. The Spirit just hopped on me, man. I was watching a show in the UK, right? The Spirit hopped on me. And I was like, let me check if they got child support in the UK. And I checked and said, yep, they got child support. It's called child maintenance support. That's what they call it. And it even said in the bottom, if the United States puts child support on you and you in the UK, that the UK will implement that shit on you, bro. So you can't run from that shit, bro. So if you let's say you happen to travel, right? You took a passport, you went to the UK, right? And then your terrorist baby mama, right? Your terrorist baby mama is like, yo, I want money from this dude. She can go to child support, and they'll be like, well, where you at? She said, well, he in the UK right now. They'll contact, the United Kingdom, and they're going to trace your ass, right? Put that child support on you, right? Just switch the finances from the US dollar to the pound, and you're going to be paying child support in the UK, from the UK to the US at the request of the United States. So you're a slave wherever you go, man. All right? So that's why Yahushua got to come back and deliver us out of this craziness, man. And us having spiritual powers, what you think? You think we would do that? Yahushua was able to do that. He was able to have spiritual powers and let himself be trampled over. But see, Yahushua is greater than us. Right. We know who we are. If we were given the spiritual powers, man, it'd be some wrecking out here, man. Yeah, man, it'd be some wrecking out here, bro. The Lord, hey, we just being honest. All right? Just being honest. Keep going.
I have a recent one.
All right, go ahead.
The second Esdras 8, I'm going to start at verse 50. It says, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. Verse 51, but understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee. Right? Verse 52, for unto you is paradise open. The tree of life is planted. The time to come is prepared. Plenteousness is made ready. A city is builded, and rest is allowed. Yea, perfect goodness and wisdom.
That's right, perfect goodness and wisdom. All right, the kingdom of heaven is being prepared. That city, that great city of freedom is being prepared, man. I mean, that's the first thing. But because, you know, a lot of times we talk about how we're going to be dominant in the kingdom. We're going to have this, we're going to have that. Man, there's steps to everything, man. Let's just think about just being free first. Can we just do that? Can we just be liberated first? You know what I'm saying? Because it's a transition, right? Before we can start dominating and taking over the earth and kicking Esau's ass, man, let's just first think about can we just be saved? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let's just be saved first. All right, let's be saved first. Because even when Yahawashi come back and deliver his elect, what's going to happen? The scripture tells you in Ezekiel 39 that he's going that we're going to be in the wilderness. All right, and he's going to plead with his people out in the wilderness. So we just going to just soak up, like just chill and just, you know, let this settle in that, yo, we just got delivered and Babylon the Great, the United States is no longer. All right, that's going to be a great thing. And then we can go out and take over the earth, man. All right, that's the reality. Right?
Verse 53, the root of evil is sealed up from you.
Right.
Weakness and a moth is hid from you. And corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten.
Yeah, there's corruption, because you got corruption here, and you know, everything in the United States and Babylon the Great is corruption. It's corruption, is lies and deceptions, right?
Our bodies are corrupt.
That's right. The bodies are corrupt as well. So yeah, the life, the lifestyle is corrupt, and the body is corrupt. So again, you have a battle where, because I was talking to my mother, and I was just explaining to her, man, listen, you gotta understand the way that the United States was built. All right, the way the United States was constructed spiritually, it's constructed to call upon all of your carnal senses. All right, this is the perfect land. Like Babylon the Great, America is the perfect land of trials and tribulation, because these bodies that we have resonate with Babylon, right? That's why we fight. That's why when the scripture speaks about temptation, it's why, because you fighting a calling, something is calling. So what's calling? All right, the spirits, the demonic spirits, the lifestyle, everything is calling upon your flesh. When you see people out here living lavishly, you're like, damn. Sometimes for a quick second, you're like, damn. You know, that's that call. Yeah. And then the demons are, well, you know what it takes. You know what it takes to do that. All you got to do is do this. All you got to do is do that. And the thing is, you know that there's a 50% chance that you could do that. And you could end up like that. Because you see these non-talented Negroes out here making money. Right? You see these songs, man, niggas can't talk. Niggas can't sing, they can't rap, they can't do shit. But they get propped up by the so-called Jews, right? By Amalek, they get propped up and all of a sudden they make money. You know? So you think we couldn't do what they're doing? Of course we could. But we're not wicked. We're not willing to destroy ourselves and to destroy our people for filthy lucre's sake. Right?
This is the book of 1 John chapter 2, verse 15. And it says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world.
Right.
If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
Yo, you know what's crazy? The Christians read that shit, man, when the whole time being in Christianity is the world. Yeah. Every Christian is in the world. If you're a Christian, you're in the world, man. But they'll read it and say, well, love not the world. I'm like, man, you are the world. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, you talking about Jesus Christ? You talking about Jesus Christ? You are the world, man. What do you mean? Love not the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are the world, man. Go ahead.
If I can say this, they agree with everything in the world.
Yeah.
Like you had that pastor, Michael Todd, I actually did a video on it like last week. But you had that pastor, Michael Todd, talking about he wishes that the Lord made an option for other in the kingdom, you know, instead of male and female.
You see that?
So he's trying to appeal to the masses of people,
Yeah,
man.
he's trying to appeal to the transgender. He's trying to appeal to the transgender community. Why? Because it's part of the world. So Christianity is finally revealing its head. Because you know, Christianity has put on a mask for ages, right? And this had us completely bamboozled. But now, because remember, what is it now? We're at the end of the world. What happens at the end? Everything is revealed. This is we live in a time of revelation, so everything is being revealed, and what's being revealed is that Christianity ain't nothing but the world. All right? Christianity is the biggest pusher of the world, man. Christianity pushes the world through the Bible. Think about that.
Yeah,
That's witchcraft.
Yeah, that's heavy. Yeah.
Christianity pushes the world through the scriptures.
Yeah.
Manipulating the scriptures, right? Talking about, well, you already saved. What the fuck is that all about?
All be forgiven.
Yeah, your sins are already forgiven. You saved because you believe in Jesus. You're like, well, I can't be saved. That's a lie. And then you talking about Jesus. Who the fuck is Jesus? Yeah. So it's just lies upon lies to pacify you, to have you embrace this world, man. Read that again.
This is the book of 1 John chapter 2 verse 15. And it says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
Right, the love of the Father is not in him. Go ahead.
For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but of the world.
Yeah, but in Christianity, in these churches, they still preach about prosperity. All right? I bet you these pastors ain't talking about the recession that's coming down the pipe. They're not talking about the civil war that's coming. A lot of you so-called Negroes, man, you're going to be ambushed. You're going to be ambushed by false flag operations. Because the thing about these elites, man, they're going to stir up a civil unrest. They're also going to stir up a racial divide, all right, and racial hatred at its highest point. And how are they going to do that? They're going to set up false flag operations. Remember the movie The Purge? If you remember The Purge, I think The Purge in an island, in the Long Island, I think it was in Long Island.
Yeah, Staten Island.
Staten Island.
The first Purge.
The first Purge.
Right.
Remember what happened with them boys, right? Them white boys pulled up with bikes. And they went out there and they lit up niggas in the church. They come to find out these were mercenaries. Acting as if they were like hillbillies and shit. Right. So that's the type of shit you're gonna see. Do not be surprised at any point in time right now you just wake up or you just hear breaking news. A church, you just had a church massacre, and then you had painted signs of fuck Negroes and Nazi signs and shit. Footages of skinheads coming in here lighting niggas up, right? And then they're gonna blame it on the Trump supporters and all that. And white people, so you're gonna have Negroes gonna be mad, Negroes gonna be angry, which the scripture says in Isaiah that Jake, beginning with Judah, they're gonna go wild when this shit happens. When a bunch of niggas get killed by Edomites like that, they're gonna go wild, man. They're broke. Our people are broke. They're angry. They're anxious. They're drugged up. All you need right now is just one false flag operation. These niggas gonna lose their fucking mind. All right? All right?
I gotta go. This is Isaiah 19, verse 17. It says, actually, let me start at verse 16. It says, in that day shall Egypt be like unto woman, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord Yahweh of hosts, which he shaketh over. Verse 17, and the land of Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt. Everyone that maketh mention thereof shall be afraid in himself, because of the counsel of the Lord of hosts, which he has determined against it.
Yeah, that's right, absolutely. So, hey, Jake gonna be out here wreaking havoc, man. All right, beginning with the so-called black man in America, the so-called Negro, right, from the tribe of Judah, gonna go wild, man. Because the majority of Jakes here, man, they're just waiting for some shit like that to happen. You know what I'm saying? I seen recently some dude that a club owner got evicted and his liquor was out, tossed out in the streets, and niggas was just out there like scavengers. Like the marshals had to come in, put cars around the liquor and say, yo, if you take any of this liquor, because he got evicted, so his shit got put out, his liquor got put out in the street. Right? It was somewhere down south, so them niggas came out like vultures. Niggas just, like black women, it was like vultures, black vultures, crows. Just sitting there waiting. You know how when they know like that a motherfucker about to die, a bunch of bodies bleeding and shit. You're not even dead, but the vultures just already in a tree. Hey, really, they can smell death. Like they'll be sitting in the tree like, yeah, any moment now he's gonna die. Just waiting. And that's why these niggas just circling around like vultures, trying to pounce on that liquor. The dude had to call the marshals to come out and make sure his liquor don't get stolen, man. So niggas are ready, man. Niggas are ready to lose their shit. All right? But as hopeful elect, we have to understand, we have to just watch this from a distance. All right? Yeah, go ahead.
In 2nd Esdras chapter 15 and verse 14, it says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and nations shall rise against one another with swords in their hands."
That's right, nations. You talking about racial, you're gonna have a crazy racial atmosphere where people gonna be shooting at each other, man. All right, and a lot of people packing, man. A lot of people, I'm telling you, you got a lot of people that are packing. You got people that are registered concealed. You got people that, a lot of people really, they're packing and it's not legal. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people packing, they're packing heat and it's not legal, it's not registered. But at that point, it won't even matter. Because bullets gonna be flying left and right, man. All right? And like I said, man, I'm telling you, at any point in time, you're just gonna get breaking news, a series of false flag attacks on you Negroes particularly, all right, to get you niggas started, man. All right? Because the Rothschilds and the elites, they got plans, and part of the plans to destroy America is to what? It's to set the Negroes off, man. Once you set the Negroes off, society is gonna collapse, man, and it's just gonna be a matter of a couple of days. Because you're gonna have to bring in the National Guard, you're gonna have to bring in the military. That's not gonna be enough. Because you're gonna have people looting, man. With this economy, people just waiting to start a loot, man. They're just waiting for shit to happen so they can loot. All right?
It says,
Right?
"For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and nations shall rise against one another."
Right, racial wars. That's what the scripture is talking about. Racial wars. Go ahead.
It says, "And nations shall rise against one another with swords in their
With
hands."
swords in their hands, man. This experimentation that Babylon tried to do and collect all the nations across the world, all 18 nations are represented right here in America. This experimentation is gonna turn on Babylon, man. Why? Because you have all these people mixed in together, man. They don't have similar cultures, right? We're not the same, man. You got us all mixed up in a box, a melting pot of scum, right? So now, and the only thing that brought all these people together, right? Israelites and the Indians and all these people, the only thing that brought these people together was what? It was the green. It's the color green. It was the money. It was the dollar bill. It was the talisman called the dollar bill. That's the thing that brought these people together. So now that the talisman is going away, what's happening? People going back to their nature. Let me get that the apocrypha, the beasts of Sarat, the beasts are going to their lights. Yeah, bring it up.
This is Genesis chapter 25 and 23, just going into how you were talking about the nations and the race wars, and that a nation isn't where you at in a country, it's who your pedigree goes back to. Genesis 25 and 23, "And Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb."
Right.
That's pretty much the point. You know, I could read on, but that's the point.
Yeah, that's right. 2 nations, two different ethnic backgrounds are in your womb. All right, and the Lord can do that, and the Lord did that. And again, what happened? It says the twins were fighting in her stomach. All right, so there was already hatred going back to the womb, and that's not only Edom, Esau. Esau is the #1 enemy of Jacob. Who is Jacob? The so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Who is Esau? Esau is the father of the Edomites. Who are the Edomites? The Edomites are the so-called white race, the so-called European man. All right? These are basic things that you need to understand. Why? Because when these racial wars and civil unrest kicks in, you need to know what's going on. All right? You can't be a fool going out there and acting stupid because you're going to get your top blown off, man. Going into the wrong neighborhood and talking crazy. You need to know what's going on. You need to know why are you being persecuted. All right? You find it? It says on the beach are going to their lights. Because everybody goes back to their nature. You know, now that the economy is being affected, everybody going back to their nature. And what's their nature is to love their own, right? And reject strangers. Rejecting a stranger has always been a thing. The only reason why the United States had open borders, was what? Was for slave labor. Right? Because listen, you gotta be a damn fool to believe that, the United States is such a human-loving nation. The United States is such a human-loving nation, that's the reason why we have open borders. No, The reason why you have open borders, so you can wear what? You can have a flow, a constant flow of what? Of labor, of men and women that will be your slaves. All right, cheap labor. Primarily, all right, the northern tribes. All right, so primarily the northern tribes of Issachar, the so-called Mexicans. All right, leading the way, and then all the other tribes coming through the borders for cheap labor. It was always about labor. This is the new Egypt. It was never about feelings. It was never about loving humanity. You open up your borders for money and labor and slavery. All right? Did you find it?
Yeah, I was able to find it.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the book of Sarat, chapter 13.
It's off by
13 and 20. Yeah, it should be right in the back.
Yep.
I just had it.
This is the book of Sarat, chapter 13, verse 15.
Yep.
And it says, every beast loveth his like, and every man loveth his neighbor.
Right, every beast, what? Read it again.
This is the book of Sarat, chapter 13, verse 15.
What?
And it says, every beast loveth his like.
Every beast is gonna love his like, man. All right, this is nature. This is nature. And what's happening to Babylon now that the economy is collapsing? Every beast is going back to their likes. That's why I hate racial hatred is gonna continue to rise. All right, it's gonna continue to rise. That's what happened when people no longer have to worry about when people not getting money, they're not enjoying their lives. All of a sudden, they're looking left and right, and they're seeing people that they don't like. They don't look like them. All right, especially if you see the person of that race, and they're actually still doing good. Imagine an Edomite right now struggling. An Edomite right now struggling, lost his job because of the pandemic, lost his job, struggling, lost his wife. Because you know that's what happens in America. Once you lose your job, you're gonna lose your wife, you're gonna lose your house. So he lost everything. So now he's driving around. He had to downsize, right? He had to downsize from a Navigator, you know what I'm saying, to like on down to like a Toyota or whatever. And then he pulls up at the light and he sees, he's angry because he's going broke. And then he see at the light, he sees a damn nigga with, you know what I'm saying, with a damn grill, with loud music, you know what I'm saying, and a fucking Porsche, you know what I'm saying, banging, getting out like us. He like, you know, he's sitting there like, man, I'd have lynched this nigga, man. You know what I'm saying? He's thinking all kinds of hate, man. He's sitting there praying the nigga crash and die at the light, man. He praying the nigga get shot in the head. He doesn't know that nigga, but he praying that nigga die, man. These are the type of hatred, the sentiments that's going on in America right now, man. You said? Go back to second age. That was it on that?
Yeah,
no, that should be
A little bit more.
Yeah.
No. It's the book of Sarat, chapter 13, verse 15.
Right.
And it says, and every beast loveth his like, and every man loveth his neighbor.
Go ahead.
All flesh consorted according to kind.
There you go. All flesh consorteth according to kind. All right. When you have issues going on, you don't go out to strangers and ask for consort with a stranger. Somebody, a man of a different race who doesn't understand your struggle, right? You don't go and say, well, all right, let me talk. I'm black. I'm a so-called black man, black Hispanic man. I've been catching hell living in the hood, right? And I'm just fucked up. And then you go and have a therapy with a damn Edomite, a damn cracker who's never been in the hood, right? You gonna lay on the couch? Yeah, man, I'm going to see my therapist. You grew up in the hood amongst sharks and demons and scorpions. Now you're gonna go and get your mind right with a cracker who ain't never seen a gun in his life, who ain't never heard a gunshot ever, never been in a fight, you know what I'm saying, in his life. Doesn't know what a confrontation is about. He's just sitting there telling you about your life and how you got to do better. He's not gonna understand what you're gonna do, right? You gotta go to your own people. Right?
The word consort means to be associated with.
That's right.
Yeah. So it says, all flesh consorteth or associate according to kind.
That's right.
And it says, and a man will cleave to his like.
Yeah, hey, at the end of the day, when all hell breaks loose, you're gonna cleave to your life. All right, you're gonna see people that look now. It's gonna be listen, when this thing hit the fan, it's gonna be a problem because you got Negroes out here. You got some super sample Negroes. They're gonna put on their red hat and they're gonna side with Edomites. They're gonna have a barricade in their neighborhood. You know, you got some uppity Negroes, they're gonna be like, hey, they're gonna be talking to other Edomites and say, hey, we hate niggas too. You know what I'm saying? Because whether you do it or not, there's a group of Negroes called the black bourgeoisie. All right? They're quiet, they make decent money, they're part of a fraternities, they live in great neighborhoods, and they hate niggas too. They hate pants sagging niggas, rapping niggas, athlete niggas, they hate all them low, they call them low class Negroes. Because the average Negro is low class, but then you have the upper class Negro that you don't really hear about. Yeah. He's also a millionaire. He went to the high schools, the Harvards and all that. All right? He also hates niggas. So when this shit happen, when this shit hit the fan, he gonna go to his Edomite neighbors and he gonna be like, hey, pass the guns, we gonna put the barricade, and trust us, we will shoot anything that's darker than a brown paper bag. You know what I'm saying? hey, for real, man. It's gonna get crazy. So you can't really just be like, well, it's just gonna be all black people against all. Nah, this shit gonna be divided in race and class. It's gonna be all types of craziness, man. What?
This 2nd Ezra chapter 15. I'm gonna start.
But also on the flip side, you're gonna have a whole bunch of white chocolate niggas, wiggers, right? They're gonna be out here associating with niggas. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be out here like, you know, doing their thing because they already, like, a lot of them deal with black women. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them deal with black women. They call them wiggers and white chocolate. I had to tell the sister at the job, I was like, listen, man, you got to understand. I told her, listen, you have to evolve. And I literally pulled up my phone. I was like, you know, there's a quarterback called Patrick Mahomes, right? I'm like, if Patrick Mahomes' father is a black man, so-called black man, right? His mother was white, Edomite. Now, you look at Patrick Mahomes' wife now, she's an Edomite, right? His children look like Edomites. And I told her, well, look at Patrick Mahomes' children. Now, the reason why you tripping and you don't understand why this cracker right here can't jump, but this other cracker can jump is because of this. Yeah. This is the reason why. She's like, yeah. I was like, yeah. I was like, that's why she looked at me like, damn. I'm like, yeah, now you've evolved. You've evolved now, man. That's called going with the spirit, man. So you have Jakes amongst our people, and guess what? You also have Edomites amongst us, man. You have niggas that are Edomites, ruthless, you know, cold-hearted Negroes, well, look like Negroes, but they're Edomites. All right? Now, do you have a whole rack of them? There's something in there. The scripture tells you there's something in there. Yeah. All right? But the thing is, eventually, you know, they get outbred, though, man. Jake do what Jake do. You know what I'm saying? The Edomite bloodline won't last too long, but it's going to be there, though. Because the black woman will step out. You best believe your loyal sister, black woman, she does sleep with Edomites behind your back. Whether you know it, like it, or believe it or not. And she'll get pregnant with a white man. Listen.
2nd Ezra chapter 15, start back at 14. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and nations shall rise against one another with swords in their hand.
That's right.
For there shall be no constancy with the people. And when one overpowers the other, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and practice violence in all their dealings.
Yeah, the kings and the princes right there is talking about the politicians. When you go into the kings and princes, it's talking about the leaders of the provinces. It's talking about the governors. It's talking about the politicians. When the Civil War kicks in, a lot of these politicians, they're going to be hung on poles, man. It's going to be a sight to see. These politicians out here, these pedophilic politicians, people going to be looking for them. Who else? Newscasters, news reporters. Yeah. All them CNN dudes, they're going to be running for their lives. Because the people know. The people know now. The people know that CNN and all these damn, you know, news, mainstream media, the people know that these people work for the Rothschilds. So when all hell breaks loose and the people know that they can take these people out without going to jail, without prosecution, it's going to be some craziness, man. Yeah. It's going to be some craziness.
Yeah. If I may add, you know, this place, Babylon the Great, wouldn't be the Roman Empire all over again if it didn't suffer the same fate. because during the Roman Empire, they had suffered from political war, political uprising, and as well as class uprising as well.
Yep.
So, it's stuff from the same fate.
Yeah.
You know?
I remember when Julius Caesar came from his conquest, and he crossed the Rubicon, right? That's why you ever heard of that word like Jeep? Like Jeep has like Jeep Rubicon.
Yeah.
The Rubicon is a river. It was a border. You couldn't use the military. You couldn't use the military, and just like right now, posse comitatus, you can't have the military in the United States sword. Well, the fact that Caesar knew that there was a plot going on to basically take him out, so he came back. They said, "Well, Caesar, we need you to come back, but leave your army outside of Rome." He's like, "Fuck no, I know what y'all trying to do." So he came in with the army, took over. Right, he crossed the Rubicon, came with the army, took over, and initiated martial law. And I remember martial law. He had this paper, the scroll, with the names of all of his enemies.
I forgot the name of it.
Yeah, he had the scroll with the name of all his political enemies, and they went out there and fetched him, got him. Guess what? They all got their head chopped off. And this is ancient Rome. This is supposed to be highest level of civilization.
Right.
Well, everybody knows when the shit hit the fan, the shit hit the fan. You can have your skyscrapers, you can have your arts and civilizations, and the proud women and all that, but when all hell, when it's time for blood, it's time for blood. All right?
That kind of remind me of why they don't want to put out that Epstein list with all them celebrities and all that. Because if shit do go down and you on that list, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know these MAGA guys that go crazy. They gonna be like, you know, dudes will go to jail forever. Oh, this dude's a child rapist or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
You got people that take that stuff, you know, to the ultimate, you know, seriously. You know, which I mean, it is what it is. I mean, these are filthy crimes. But my thing is, I'm always amazed at how dudes are so gung-ho about, hey man, you slept with a 15-year-old, man. You supposed to be, you know, you supposed to be hung by your balls. But I'm like, but you ain't got no smoke for the politician who's stealing your money and sending it to Ukraine. What's up with that? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's up? Like, you got this baby mother terrorist bringing you to the enemy, right? And you ain't got no smoke for him. You got this wicked institution called the IRS that's stealing your money, you know, like just every year. You ain't got no smoke for them. But you got smoke for a dude who slept with a 15-year-old, and by the way, she was a willing participant. Stop it, man. Stop it. It's called what? Selective outrage. Let me not be outraged at the devil. I'm just gonna be outraged at this little man. Even the Lord, let me get Ephesians 12. Wrestle not against 11. Wrestle not against flesh and blood. Because even the Lord tells you, man, you don't crash out on little people. That's basically what the scripture is saying, bro. You got it?
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter.
It's Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 1. It says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness with which they have prescribed." And
One and 20. I got it.
You said wrestle not against flesh and blood.
Yeah, this is the book of this is the book of Ephesians, chapter 1. I'm gonna start at verse. No, that's not it.
No, that's 2 Corinthians 10.
Wrestle not against flesh and blood. That's Ephesians.
It's Ephesians 5 and 11.
I think it's 6 and 11.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
shoot.
basic shit.
Yeah,
No, I'm
6.
thinking
I got
something
you
else.
right.
Yeah, because
Like,
I
6 and 11.
man, we gotta get that together, man.
6 and 11.
Yeah, 6 and 11.
Man, 6 and
Yeah.
11, man.
This-
Ephesians 6
I
and
was
11.
thinking of something.
Because I was thinking about 11 and something else, but yeah, go ahead.
This is the book of Ephesians,
No, I
chapter.
was thinking about 5. Go ahead.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 11. And it says, "Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil."
Right.
And it says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood."
Right, it says, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Now, let me see if you can read that in the NLT right quick. Because, again, like I said, that's selective outrage that, especially Negroes, right? Like, you see Negroes get all hyped. Hey, man, she a little girl, man. I'm like, dog, she was a willing participant, bro. And by the way, the scripture says, if the woman is of the flower of age, like, you know, it is what it is. You got, you know, but dudes just lose their mind. But then on the flip side, you see an old broad, giving head to a 12-year-old boy in school. And it's like crickets. I'm like, well, what's the outrage, bro? And it's like, no outrage. You got the politicians at the very top, you know, sucking the money in. You have the IRS, you know, stealing your money. You got your baby mama terrorist, you know, that demon that's taking you to child support and shit, right? You have your ex-wife demon putting you on lifetime alimony, but you don't crash out. You know what I'm saying? So, but the Lord said, man, listen, we don't crash out on little people, man. We crash out on the Rothschilds. That's what we doing. That's the reason why we ain't doing that, because the only people that have our attention is the Rothschilds and Rockefellers, the elites of the society. We don't crash out on no nigga, no regular cracker, nah. Our ultimate goal, because remember, we are the elite force of Yahawashi. So of course, we supposed to worry about the elite force of Satan, man, which is, you know, the elite of Edomite. All right, go ahead, read it.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 11 in the NLT, and it says, "For we are not fighting against flesh and blood."
See, we're not fighting against flesh and blood, right?
We're not fighting against flesh and blood enemies,
right?
But against evil rulers and authorities of the unseen world.
Those are your enemies. Evil rulers and authorities of the unseen world. The people that go out and do child sacrifices. All right? People living in palaces when they have male and female, little male and female child servants. Sex slaves. All right? People that come up with all types of rules and laws to destroy the nation of Israel. All right? The people that have funded the slavery, the enslavement of the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Those are the people that we look at and be like, yeah, we crash out on you. How do you do that? Spiritually. Because what's a crash out? A crash out, when I looked up the definition, it says it's a decision that you make that you know at the end of it, you stand to lose everything. Kamikaze. Right, kamikaze type. So, well, guess what? Haven't we lost everything? We said, man, all of this is nothing. All right, let me get that Philippians 3:8.
It's 505.
All right, let me get Philippians 3:8.
Can you get that?
And then we all comes out. Yeah, man, because, you know, we using a term, because somebody said, why would you use the term crash out? Well, hey, listen, we're Israelites. We talk to our people because the way that our people talk. You're not going to be out here, you know, Paul spoke about, he didn't use the word, he spoke about, what is it, Paul's favorite term was persuading. Persuade, the word persuade. I'm persuaded, I'm well persuaded that you were persuaded. Paul, that was one of Paul's favorite terms. Why? Because you have to be pliable, right? You have to be able to adjust. All right? You can't talk to Negroes in 2024 and you talk like it's 1975 or something, man. Like, they're gonna be like, what are you saying? Now, you got to use the lingo and the terminology and flip it on them. You know, spiritually. That's how you do with Israelites, all right? We're not gonna come out here trying to speak proper. We wasn't raised to speak proper English. All right, the United States English is not even proper English. Proper English is the King's English. And the way the United States English is now is really the way it is, the way we speak, all of it is really through Jake, beginning with Judah on down, just mangling the language and making it some new shit. You know what I'm saying? What we speak ain't even English, it's just some weird form of English.
French,
right?
That's part of understanding. You know, being able to communicate effectively.
That's right.
You know, which the apostle Paul did, you know, in his different situations.
Hey, you're not gonna come to a Jake Jake didn't even graduate out of high school, and you coming out here dumping Harvard terminologies on him. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey man, hey listen, black man, there's a plethora of like plethora. Jake gonna be looking at you like, what's a plethora?
Yeah. I mean, that concept even exists in other cultures. You know, they call it dialect.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and our people, to be honest, the majority of Israel is low class. Why? Because we are the poor. We are the Israelites. All right? We're the ones, we're the downtrodden. That's the reason why the majority of Israel is low class. So a low class has what? Low class education, low class in speech, low piss poor morally. These are the Israelites, man. All right? Go ahead.
Based on the topic at hand, this is 1 Corinthians 9 and 19. It says, "For though I be free of all men, yet have I made myself servant unto all, that I may gain the more. And unto the Jews I became as a Jew."
That's what it means to be pliable. You have to be pliable. Go ahead.
"That I might gain the Jews.
That's right.
To them that are under the law, as under the law, that I might gain them that are under the law. To them that are without law, as without law, being not without law to Yahweh, but under the law to Yahawashi, that I might gain them that are without law."
Yeah, and it sounds like a mind game, right? It sounds like a Jedi mind, but I'm gonna be honest, it is Jedi. But it's because remember, everything comes in twos, right? If you can manipulate a man to do evil, you can also manipulate a man to do righteousness. And guess what? The Lord will be pleased if you're able to manipulate a man to do righteousness, to become righteous. That's called persuasion. That's why there's something called a power of persuasion. The spiritual power is to be able to change a man's view, especially from wickedness into righteousness. That is the true quote-unquote Jedi mind tricks. All right?
Yeah, that's the ultimate form of persuasion, to persuade a man to do righteous. Because as you can see, people being persuaded to do wickedness all day, but to persuade somebody to do righteous, is the ultimate way, it's the ultimate power, man.
That's right. Let's get that precept. We gotta get out of here.
Philippians.
Yep.
This is Philippians 3 verse 7 says, "But what things were gained to me, those I counted loss for Yahawashi." Verse 8, "Yea, doubtless, and I count all things but
Shall call and read again, brother.
This is Philippians 3 verse 7.
Right.
It says, "But what things were gained to me, those I counted loss for Yahawashi."
Yeah, whatever we have, we count the laws for Yahawashi. All right. That's what you do when you're ready to crash out. Basically, you're like, man, I don't give a damn. They're like, oh, you don't want to be rich in America? No, I don't. You don't want to have multiple cars and a big house? No, I don't. Not really? You don't want all the multitude, a plethora of bad bitches? No, I don't. So now Rothschild is like, oh, you're a problem. Because once you already say that you don't want none of this shit, yeah, you're a big problem. You're a dangerous person in the spirit. And yes, we are dangerous in the spirit. We're a threat to the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, to our enemies. All right, which is a great thing. You're supposed to be a threat to your enemies. You ain't supposed to have your enemies laughing at you while you out here dancing and entertaining like a monkey. Because you got this monkey season coming up, NFL. Yeah. Right? And all the monkeys gonna be entertaining. And the enemies just sitting there like, yeah, we got all these gladiators, these monkeys entertaining us. We still got them. We still got them throwing balls around. As long as you keep a nigga throwing balls, right? Basketballs, footballs, baseball, soccer. Just get these niggas to keep pushing the ball somewhere. We gonna keep them down. But they look at us, the men of the Lord, they're like, well, these dudes, they don't want to push no balls. They don't want bad bitches. They don't want big cars. They don't want none of this shit. And then they're looking at us, primarily the men of Great Millstone. They're looking at us like, these dudes are a real problem. And it's so bad, even the other camps that are tempted and that do want to go back into the world and get the things, they're looking at us like, man, these dudes are really a problem. You know, they call us bummerlights, because they're like, man, these dudes really don't want to win out here. No, we don't want to win here, right? We made that clear. We don't want to win here. All right? What?
Verse 8, "Yea, doubtless, and I count all things but loss for the excellency of the knowledge of Yahawashi, my Lord, for whom I have suffered the loss of all things."
That's right.
"And do count them but dung."
Man, that's dumb. That's nonsense. It's nothing. All these cars and these so-called, the cars are trash. It needs fuel. We want engines that's gonna be fueled by the Spirit. And we want virgin women, not old, rained-out whores. All right? So we don't want that. We want palaces, not a fucking box called an apartment. All right? All right?
Verse 8, "That I may win Yahawashi."
That's right, that I may win Yahawashi, man. And that's our purpose. That's our duty. That's our calling. The Lord willing, we're part of the elect, and we do win Hamashiach Yahawashi, man. So with that, we're going to say, Carl, hello.
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
We give a double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone and Shalom. Salutation to all you sensei, I can cross the 4 winds. Shalom.
Shalom.
Mosquitoes, man. We gonna